Well, John, that's not a shabby view.
I like that we're looking this way and not behind us, by the way.
Well, we want to show you wonderful people out there this view. We are on a trail, snow machine trail out to Stanley Lake. It's about 14 miles and it's a beautiful backcountry experience.
So this is a mecca for snowmobiling. It's a great way to come out here and experience the winter in Stanley. And it's really easy for you to do whether or not you have a snowmobile.
Exactly. So for instance, I wandered into the shop this morning. I had my ski clothes and stuff, but when you're sitting on a snow machine, it's you're sitting there. You're kind of sedentary. They had all this insulated stuff that you can rent along with the sleds, and I'm toasty.
Excellent. And what shop was that you walked into, Chad?
Which was it called again?
It's called Sawtooth Tracks. Not like you'd have to remember the name of it because it's the only one in town.
Yeah. Right at Sawtooth Tracks, talked to Todd. He set us all up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not only did he set us up, he showed us where to go on the map, and then he drove us to the trailhead so that we didn't get lost. And you could take these snow machines right from Stanley across the street and onto the trail, which I think is pretty cool. We also asked him how long this would take someone, and he said for him it would take him about a half an hour, and then for most people, if it's your first time on a snow machine, probably 3. I think this is a half-day ride, and this is his most popular ride. So this is the trip to Stanley Lake is the one. If it's your first time on a snowmobile, this is the one you should do.
Groomed trail, fun ride. So let's get to it.
All right, let's check it out.
Mount McGowan, take 1.
All right, you start.
All right, I will start.
Okay, you will start. First off, I'm gonna start because, yes, you start.
So John, the weather has cleared. There's these lovely little floaty light flakes in the sky, some blue sky, and it's absolutely beautiful. I come up here all the time with my daughters, and they've always been here in the summertime. But it is a really nice place in winter.
I don't know who's taking care of these trails, but they're doing a marvelous job.
And it's been fun. I mean, and even, you know, for somebody who might be a little more advanced or want to have some fun, these machines do have a little zip to them on these trails. So the ride out today, we kind of went up on that plateau above Stanley with that vista of the Sawtooth Mountains.
Yeah, and up top there's a really nice view of McGowan Peak if it's a really clear day. Now, the one thing to know about Stanley, especially in Idaho in general, is just that the weather here
can change. And then once we got in here and we started down the trail out of Stanley Lake here, it was just kind of closed up. The trees were covered with snow. The trail was much tighter. It was just a lot of fun. It was a lovely day.
It was a lovely day. What a great experience. You don't have to be sponsored by Red Bull to come out and do it. Anyone can do it.
Although I am.
The sun's out and it's warming us up, but it's not warming us up enough. So I think it's time that we jump right back here to Mountain Village and hit the hot springs for a soak. For more info on Stanley, check out the Stanley Sawtooth Chamber of Commerce. At stanleycc.org, you'll find more information like trail mats and grooming reports from the entire area. That's stanleycc.org.
So here we are. It is an absolutely bluebird day. As you can see behind me, the Sawtooth Mountains reign majestic. There's elk feeding over there. Right behind me is Mountain Village Hot Springs, which if you stay at the hotel, it is free with your stay. You still need to make a reservation. And you don't have to stay at the Mountain Village Hotel, but you can make reservations at the front desk to take part of this awesome hot springs, which as you can see is this wonderful little pool that looks out at what we're looking at right now. So a beautiful view, beautiful soak.
So right down the road from Mountain Village is this public hot springs. Hot is a loose term as it is warm at best. This is what the locals refer to lovingly as the snake pit. But it's a beautiful view. This is open. I'm underneath the Sawtooths and it's not that bad. I mean, it's less than 32 out here, but I'm not freezing in it. As you can see, there's steam rising from it. And guess what? You'll have it to yourself in the winter. Although I believe this is probably a more popular venture during the summer. So this is Sunbeam Hot Springs. This is a free, publicly used hot springs right along Highway 75, a few miles outside of Lower Stanley. It sits right along the edge of the Salmon River. So we're gonna jump in there. They have changing rooms up there, or you could be like Chad, who decided to wear his clothes into the hot springs.
And so John, how was your experience up at the box up there?
The box was way too hot. It was way too hot. I couldn't get in there. But the pool right down there, once you get next to the river, that cold river water mixing with that really hot water makes a perfect temperature here at Sunbeam Hot Springs. So I really dug that.
You know, there's a bald eagle we were watching from the hot springs. The hot springs, there's some pools that are super hot, not so hot, so definitely ease in. I would highly recommend footwear, flip-flops, chacos, whatever it is, because one of the pools I got into is great to sit in, but walking into it, those rocks were super hot. And once again, you know, this hot springs is right on the side of the highway, but when you're sitting in the hot springs, you're right next to this river that's flowing by with little ice flows and all kinds of cool stuff on it, and you can't hear the road at all.
Yeah, this is the Salmon River, man. This is the world famous Salmon River. People come from everywhere to sit in
the
this
mighty
river,
salmon,
to raft down this river, and you yourself can just sit in the hot springs next to it. Like, how cool is that?
And it's free, people.
And it's free here.
So I don't have any more winter gear to wear. I think it might have warmed up.
So you think we should get out of here before you freeze to death?
My jellies might break on the way to the car from brittleness.
Big thanks to our sponsors. Check them out. They'll truly make your stay in Stanley better.
Way better.
More adventurous. Follow us on social media. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
All right, let's go.